All right, so today's plan is to get started on, right, the tone control boards. I think one of these might, I'm not sure what, I'd have to look at the service manual and see what these are called. But basically the two boards here that service the switches and the tone controls. Sorry, phone's blowing up today. So what I'm going to do, oh goodness gracious, yes. Where is my? And I moved the camera slightly. I'm still trying to get a good camera angle using the existing kind of piecemealed mount that I have. So, hey, thanks for sending all those texts out. Group text, love them. Just love them. So we're gonna start with what the heck? We'll start with this board here. So if I remember correctly, a couple of screws off the front. Yeah, it's already dropping. And this also gives us an opportunity to spray the switches and clean the pots with some fader lube. And that's stuck in there for some reason. I apologize for that. Let me turn that off. I hate it when I'm watching a video and I hear a phone ding and I think it's mine. So I think probably have to remove some of the wires from the cable management, as I would call that. And then I should be able to flip this board around. I think once this happens, this board is pretty easy to get to. If I remember right, one of these boards, a lot of caps, a lot of transistors. The other one, not so bad. Because I think this one, there's a cover. There's a cover for this one. I think this is the one that may not have a lot going on. But as you can see here, we've got some transistors. Let's see what those are. They appear they are 1885s. I think those are on the naughty list. Let's see. You think I have some of these memorized, but not all of them. No, 1885 is not on the list, but I won't rule out replacing those. And over here we have two SA726s. And it looks like a 2SC. This is K34. I have to look up I'll have to look at the service manual and see what those are, but I'm sure these are probably sets. So it'll probably be 1845s and 992s for those, but I need to look at the service manual to confirm that. And then we have some tantalum caps. I think it's a good idea to replace those blue caps. I have to see if I have values for those. So I'll have to pull up the old service manual here. Yeah, well, first let's ID this board. So this is, let's see, AWG038. AWG038 is the flat amp board. And that's on page 67. Let's see what page. Okay, I got close. Equalizer amp, we did that. Flat amp, right. Yeah, I'm not sure about the 2SK30AWs. I need to look at that to see. Oh no, those are not. Those FETs. So those two 2SK30AWs I'm going to leave. Those are not transistors. So I'm going to do the two 2SA 725s. Because, and again, this board's pretty easy to get to. If I realize I should have gone into to do more, I will do that. And then the 1885s. Yeah, I'm going to leave those. So, cool. So this board, oh, the tantalum. That's what I was looking at. So we have a transistor. I've got the board flipped kind of upside down. Looks like that's a 10 picofarad. Or is that's the 10 picofarad? No? So I got to make sure I've got this in the proper orientation. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll when I'm doing the replacement, I'll have to figure out what this is. I think it's the problem. It's reversed, so I'm going backwards. This could be a. Okay, let me get my glasses. Okay, so yep. So this is. I'm not replacing this transistor here. I know you really can't see it, and then this light blue tantalum cap that says it's 1025, and then we have a 10 picofarad. So that says 1025, and it says plus minus, and the board is marked plus minus. Yeah, and it says 1025. So I'll be replacing those caps as well. Right. So on to the recap. All right, let's take a little break from doing that. I've got about half of the caps replaced. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I've done 4. But just for the heck of it, and I want to talk about some of these caps. So I don't know if you saw, but these caps, some of these caps, they're the leads. So this is a 4.7. It's actually 5.3. The leads are really short, and they're folded right up against the board. So I don't know if you saw me struggling to bend some of the leads up so I could get the, yeah, it's 5.3, the Hakko to remove the solder, but it's kind of tricky. I definitely prefer them when they're sticking straight up. So that one wasn't bad. 223. That was supposed to be 200. This is another 200. $211. So no crazy out of spec cap. This is 100. So 103. Yep. All right. Back at it. All right, everything's been replaced. Just make sure nothing looks sketchy on here. And I'm going to go ahead and screw this back in. I won't do the wires though until I know it's good. But let's just do it real quick. It only takes half a minute because I'm always curious. So this is a 10, or this is 100, 123, another 100, 122, 4.7. Now it looks to me like this 4.7 had been replaced. Now this said it's leaky. Let me see. 5.37, really high ESR. So that is different than all the other ones. It's larger. Oh no, that one. No, I guess they're all the same size. I thought one of them was larger. But that one was no good. This one, a little bit high, but ESR's okay. This is one of the 10s. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, this one's probably good. And when I say good, I'm just saying it's within, like 10%. So 11. All right. Okay. So what I will need to do on this is, I think I'll have to run an FM antenna. Well, maybe not. As long as I get sound, even if it's staticky sound, I'm good. Just want to make sure that all of the things here are working. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Damn. I didn't clean them. So that would have sucked because I'd have to come in here and do this again. So let me work these pots and switches from this side because it's easier. I'll do it off camera. It's kind of boring to watch, so I'll just come back after I've cleaned them. And I'll let you know. We'll test it and see what happens. Okay, got it all tested. I did miss 2 caps. I don't know if you saw them, but I definitely missed 2. I had headphones. Everything's good. Sounds good. No issues. But these were 2 2.2 caps that were hidden, kind of sandwiched between a switch that was up here. So just curious. These should be 2.2, 2.47. So again, the caps weren't crazy here. There was the one that was definitely sketchy. 2.3. So not too far off. So I think I'm going to say that this flat amplifier board is done. I'm going to button it back up. I may have to pull some of these back out when I do the other one, but in case I don't, I'm going to close this one up. And since this was kind of a shorter segment, I think I'll probably just do both of these assemblies together in one. In fact, we'll flip this one over right now because I do have a little bit of time. Again, my schedule for the next few months is kind of crazy. So, okay, and the thing to check for, so naturally, before I called this good, I double checked my solder joints. There was one trace that had lifted a little bit, but it's still intact enough. I just wanted to make sure everything was good. And then you always want to check the wires, the wire wraps, make sure they don't break, because flipping the board back and forth, it's easy to do that. So it's always a good idea to just take a minute and double check, triple check. And even if you do that, you still may miss something. So let's look at this board here. And this board, I think there might be 1 or 2 things to replace in this one. And I need to pop that out of here. But we'll at least get a lay of the land, and then we will come back to this in a couple of days when I am able to work on stuff again. There we go. And I believe just these 2. Now, I just had this on, so I have to be careful, although we do have some bleeder resistors there. I don't want to go across those filter caps. That would be bad. I think it's these 2 screws. Yeah, and that should just come right off. Yep, that's kind of what I suspected. That's what I remember on this one, although this one has a lot of tantalum caps. So there's 4 electrolytics. There are 2 transistors. And these are 2SC1312s, and I believe those are on the list. So and you know, the list that I referenced, it's on Audio Karma. It's called Top 10 Worst Transistors, and 1312s are on there. So I'll be replacing these 2 1312s. It's, according to this list, KSC 1845s would be a good substitution. This board here is AWG 039A. So let's see what this board is called. So this was the flat amp. 039A, I believe, is the tone amplifier assembly. And it looks like on the tone amp, what are those caps? I have to look to see what the blue cap values are. It's on the side of them. It's kind of hard to tell. Looks like we have 2.2s, we have 10s. Can't tell what that one is. 2.2. When I pull them out, I'll let you know what they were. It looks like 2.2s and 10s. And then we got the electrolytics. We got 2 100s at 10 volts. And it looks like a 47, 2 47s at 50. So anyway, and then I'll clean the pot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to clean these pots now while I'm thinking about it. Doesn't matter when I do it, as long as I do it. And I don't recall an issue with bass and treble. So, but I'm going to hit these now so I don't forget later, because I got enough time to do it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit the switches as well. And then in a couple of days, I'll come back and we'll recap the tone control amp. And then we'll call the bottom of this, well, the bottom is done. We'll call the front of it done. And then we'll come back and do the beasts, the amplifier board. Lots of stuff to replace there. So anyway, we'll pick it up here in a couple of days and knock this one out. All right, on to the tone control board. Pots have been cleaned, switches have been cleaned. Make sure it's unplugged. Not a lot of stuff to replace here. We got, well, 4 electrolytics, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 or 10 of these blue tantalums. So we'll see if we have values for those. So I'm going to jump right in and do the electrolytics first, then we'll test, then we'll do the blue caps, and then we'll call this board done. Alright, those went pretty quickly. Again, just a quick test. These are 47s. That was dead on at 47. 49. And then these two are 100s. 122, a little bit high. 122. All right, on to the blue one. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have values for all of these, so this may be a get what I can. I think I do, but I'm not sure. I'm going to start with the larger two, the 10s, replace those, and then I'll go to the smaller ones. It seems like there's just an odd number. There's not an even number, so maybe there is just one that's, say, at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there are 10. Okay, I just didn't see that one there. All right, so on to the blues. Well, one of the things you have to be careful about when you're working on one of these is to have one of the wires break. So that orange wire broke right here because I was flexing the board back and forth. It's just one of those things. I could have unwrapped it because there is a little bit more tension on this board, but what I will do is I'll just tack this down. And then those were pretty easy. Knock on wood, I got everything aligned correctly. There. The board seemed to be marked accurately. So what I will do next is tack this in place, then I'm going to test. I'm going to test off camera though. I'll come back if there's something I need to do, but no transistors, just capacitors. So if I don't get sound, it's likely that I just put one in incorrectly, backwards. So what I like to do is just kind of wrap it a little bit. I don't like to put it down far on the post. I like to keep these up top like most people. So that way it's easier to remove if I have to remove this again. So that's good. Solder this back in, and then I'll get to testing. Like I said, assuming everything goes well, you probably won't see any addition to this, so I'm going to go ahead and say it now. These two boards are done. So as always, if you like what you see, like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you when we come back to work on the main amp board.